speech group know who their presenter is? Yes? All right. Steph, are you presenting?
No.
Okay. Do you mind doing dome joss?
Yeah, no problem.
That would be awesome. Do you have markers over there? So you guys, we're going to start.
I don't know, there's a chance.
We're going to start with part 1. So will everybody look back at page 98. And we're going to start with part 1. And I did number 1 yesterday. We did that in class, so we're actually going to start with number 2. Okay?
Okay, so there are 30 students, and only 3 out of the 30 are being chosen. So there are 3 out of 30.
If you reduced it, could you make it 1, 2?
Yeah.
I'm Brennan loud, so we all can hear you. You say that again.
If you could reduce it, I guess the lowest number would be 110. I guess.
Good job.
Don't run away, though. Don't run away.
Don't run away.
Nope.
Could you also write it as a percent, like 10%? Yeah.
Did anybody interpret this problem differently? Like, I know you guys were having a conversation yesterday about this one. Do you want to share what you were thinking about?
We kind of did the same thing. We divided it into the same type of box and shaded it with 1 out of 6.
Do you mind showing us, Delia, what you did?
Well, we did the exact same thing.
We
Like,
kind of so we subtracted 3 by 30, not 3 by 30, 2 by 30, because if you're, I can't explain it. If you're like one of the people, then you're already eliminating 2 people from the class. So you take out 2 from 30, and that's 28. So you're 1 out of 28 people being chosen.
What do you guys think? 3 out of 30 or 1 out of 28? Brandon?
How did we get 28?
Because you subtract 2 by 30, because she's choosing 3 people, and if you're going to be one of those 3 people, then there's only 2 left. So you have to subtract that 2 by 28. 30.
get him 28.
That would change the probability of being chosen.
What do other people think? 1 out of 28 or 3 out of 30? Questions? Agree, disagree? Jason?
I would disagree because it's showing that there you have 3 opportunities of being chosen instead of just 1 out of 28, because there might be different people, but each slot is a possibility for you to be in.
maybe we let that one fester for a little bit. Thanks, Taylor. Thanks, Remy and Delia, aka for your alternative method. Okay, number 3 from part 1.
Wait, what?
Number 3 from part 1.
Yeah, you flipped a coin 2 times. Which is 2 squares. You got 2 heads.
Wouldn't there be 4 because there's 2 opportunities each time you flip the 2 possibilities each time you flip the coin?
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that far.
And 2 out of 2 would mean it's always gonna land on.
So would someone like to go up and draw, give us another option for that one? Jason, you want to go?
Sure.
That's what I did.
You want to explain it, maybe?
So it's like, you got like 2 heads right here, and 2 tails there, but it asks like, what's the chance of it landing on heads twice? So I just shaded in, you would have a chance, yeah,
So, the probability is that I have a chance.
yeah.
Guys are like, no questions? You agree, disagree?
I agree with Jason.
I agree. Jason.
You agree with me,
Agree.
and I agree with Jason. I agree with both of them.
Okay. What's going, we're flipping a coin twice, right?
Mhm.
Can you list out all the possible things that could happen if you flip a coin twice? Will you just do that on your paper? What are all the things, you're gonna flip a coin twice, what are all the possible things that could happen? You're listing out all the possible things that could happen.
Excuse me?
You got 3 possibilities?
Well, there's heads and tails and tails and heads.
I got 4.
Yeah, you can get heads.
Okay, now I'm hearing things about there's 4 possibilities, there's 3 possibilities. Up there it was half and half. Okay, so I have a couple groups that say there's 3 possible outcomes, and you guys say there's 4. Okay. So, Kayla, will you go up and tell us about your 3 outcomes, and then Hannah or Steph or Roberta, will you tell us about your 4?
That's the same thing.
Okay, so go up and tell us about it.
Okay. So, we said that there were 3 possibilities because you could either get heads and heads, tails and tails, or heads and tails.
So in Kayla's scenario, what's the probability of getting heads, heads?
1/3.
All right, then I have another group that says, give Kayla an 8 for that one, Steph? Okay. All right, Hannah, tell us about you.
So we said it was 4. There's 4 possibilities because you could get heads, or tails and a tails, or you could get a heads, tails, or a tails and a head. Isn't it a heads, tails?
All right, so before we jump in, what's the probability of getting heads, heads in Hannah's scenario? All All right, fire away.
Isn't tails heads and heads tails the same thing?
Yeah, no, I guess so. No, but if you put it in the
It's the same.
okay, so like if you like, because we did it like the other problem where I did like flip the coin 50 times, like we put it in a chart. If you put it in a chart and you flip it and you get like tails head, and then you do another flip it and you get heads tails, it's like two different ones.
Yeah.
Because you're counting it again.
Gotcha.
Wait, when did we do the Paula's Pizza thing? Because the same thing happened.
No, but.
It was like,
Aaron, so tell us what you mean by Paula's
like with
pizza.
the Paula's Pizza, it was like onions, mushrooms, and then mushrooms, onions. We decided that was the same thing. Wouldn't that be the same here?
No, because you're flipping it twice.
But still.
You can make two pizzas.
Aaron gets an O, by the way. It's so rare that we give O's. Yay! All right, so people think this is just like Paula's Pizza stuff. What do you think?
Okay, so like to help Hannah out, what we did was, if you flip a coin once, then the chances of getting heads are 1/2, because heads and tails. If you flip it again, it's still 1/2. So in order to get both of them, you multiply the two. If you multiply 1/2 and 1/2, you get a 4.
What?
Yeah, I was lost.
Aaron, but I don't know if that's right.
What?
Oh, wait, does Alex get it out
Because
too?
I
Because
brought up the.
I'd give her a J. I hate for justifying her thinking.
No, but I said that at the bottom.
She talks about coin flipping.
Oh, yes, you should get an O. 2 O's in one day.
she did it first.
What she gave.
Okay, what do other people think? I'm not convinced. 1/3, 1/4. Hannah, you get to pick people. You're the presenter.
Anybody else?
Brandon, you sure?
This is same.
So what is it, 1/3 or 1/4?
Both ways.
Man,
makes
maybe
sense.
we should let this one fester for a little while also.
Every single
Yeah, that's the beauty of probability. Or moist. Okay, let's go on to, what are we on, number 4?
Alright, so mine was the probability of the sun rising tomorrow. It was 1 out of 1, because the sun has to rise, or else the world will probably not exist. Because it's not really possible for the sun to not rise.
Yeah, I agree fully with that.
Well, they say if the sun would ever die out, it would take 8 seconds for us, or 8 seconds or 8 minutes for us to realize that it's gone.
But it's still rising.
But it still rises every day.
It just clouds in
There's no
the sky.
record of it not rising.
So Ethan, are you saying
It grows
the
for-
probability is not 1 out of 1?
It could be 50-50.
Oh my god. The sun is not.
What?
I was the same thing.
Okay,
I bet you 100 zillion dollars the sun will rise. What?
to help Aaron out, the sun's never like not risen before, so I think that what this is supposed to do is we're like kind of going off of like patterns that we've seen in the past. That could very well happen in the future. I don't know, but like to help Aaron out, you know, the sun's never risen before.
Eventually it's gonna happen when the sun blows up, because stars don't last.
Yeah, but that hasn't happened yet. We're going off.
I'm just saying, it will happen.
Okay.
And I drew a
Okay.
square to represent
Off
one.
topic.
We all
die if that happens.
That's just-
Alright, so can we focus on, before you run away, Aaron, your area model,
Yes.
your rug?
Oh my god.
That,
Yeah, tell us about your rug again.
well, 1 out of 1 is just like, just one hole, so I just drew a square. And filled it in, just one whole square. Yeah.
Any questions about Aaron's area model? Okay, let's not let that one fester. Let's assume the sun's gonna come up every day. Alright, number 5.
What's a sun? A sun is a giant star.
I'm kidding.
So, getting no homework for the rest of the semester is 30% because there is a chance, but a very slight chance. That is not. Brandon?
Well, this was homework, so
This is more of an observed observation. Erin?
Where'd you get 30?
It depends on the person. Okay, so yeah, this was like my problem when I tried to explain it to her. So, like it was an observed probability, so it's not like set, like theoretical. So I was just going off like we've had homework before, but not every night. So there is a chance that we won't ever get homework, but it's a very slight chance. So that's 30%. Erin?
Couldn't you have figured out how many days are left in the semester or whatever, and like done something with that?
What is true?
Ladies,
Okay, can I just say what I said then? Because this isn't my problem. So I said, like there's 16 weeks in one semester, and then there's 7 days in 1 week. And then, for the probability, I had no homework for a semester, 0 to 121.
Was 0 to what?
0 to 121. Ethan?
Could you do 110?
Sure. Mason?
Since it's an observed, like thing, we've had homework every single semester from when we can remember school started pretty much.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much assume that you're gonna have homework. It may not be every day or every week, but you will probably for the rest of the semester.
Yeah.
Unless the school closes.
So, are you doing this for like our school or like schools like everywhere? There could be a school that doesn't get homework, like an afternoon.
Alex, you're really loud so we all can hear you, please.
They're just like, they just work all the time? Well, are you considering this being like all schools or just our school? Because like in like some country, there could be schools that just don't give homework, they just make you work for 10 hours a day. I guess it could be just
So, all right, it sounds like everybody's saying it would be a low probability.
Yes.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. What is missing from Hannah's answer though?
Jason?
No. She has the probability. What else is missing? Let her know, let
Needs
her
to draw a square, or a rug.
No, the P thing.
That
Well,
too.
that and does she have a rug?
No.
No.
I wrote that, so my bad.
That's all right. So you guys, I want to start transitioning our vocabulary a little bit. We've been talking about these rugs. There tend to be a common, like we're all more comfortable with drawing like a rectangle or a square. And we're filling in a certain portion of that rectangular square. So we're representing an area of the rectangular square. So from now on, let's call it an area model. We're having a certain area as a visual to represent our probability. So Hannah, can you draw your area model for 30% or 0, whichever one you want? Actually, you know what I'd like? What would be 0 out of 121?
Oh, that's a lot.
Nothing.
One big block
Just-
of
Can you guys help her out? What would that be?
Couldn't it just be a square
Just don't draw
And then
it.
just say,
with nothing in it, or like not shaded in?
just call 120.
Just
Just draw a
120.
square.
Yeah.
Does she need to draw 121 little
No.
spaces?
One big
No.
square. Just
No,
one big
because there's
square and
0.
say
She could draw like 2 boxes and not color any of them.
What?
Because it's 0. So
Okay.
it's still counts. It doesn't have to be 1.
I just didn't hear everything you said.
It's not work.
So look back at Aaron's problem. What did we do for the area model when the probability was 1?
fill the color completely in.
Okay. So what would we do if the probability is 0? All right, I love the debates about these problems. Now let's go to part 2. You were given the area model. You had to come up with scenarios. So number 6. Okay, guys, I need quick and quiet transitions.
Alright, so we had number 6, and this was the original area model. Okay, so what we did to make it easier to like split it up and get a number to do the probabilities, we like almost made like little dotted lines so that it looked like it was in like 4 squares. And so our little scenario is there are 4 cards that are face down. One of them is orange, one is blue, one is pink, and one is yellow. What is the probability of drawing the pink card? And it's 1/4. I didn't write that down, but I probably should. Here's the pink card. Remember me?
Wouldn't it be like there's 1 pink card and then there's 3 white cards because it's like, I don't know, I'm sorry.
It could do that too.
So our group did, we did like 3 out of 12, because when you reduce it, you do 1/4.
What?
More instead of just 4.
Oh, so that's like another number for it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because like it'll reduce down.
Okay, let's go on to number 7.
Just get that checked out.
Okay, so, we did number 7, and we found out like the area of it was 52, and 13 blocks were shaded, so our situation was 13 out of the 52 people are going on a field trip, and what is the chance you're going on a field trip? And we got 13 out of 52, or 1/4.
I agree.
This might be a good chance for someone to get an A for another method other than Taylor's. Maybe, who haven't we heard from today? That could give us another scenario. We've heard from Ethan. Heard from Aaron. I doubt everybody did exactly the same scenario Taylor did. I've heard from Mason. Oh, I've heard from Hannah.
Delia, you're such a girl.
Delia, it sounds like you're getting nominated.
No, I don't.
She is.
I didn't get a good one. I tried.
Do you want to share with us what you tried?
Take a risk. Take a chance.
So I just tried saying that there were 52 people at the Apple store, and then there were 4 groups of 13, and then what was the probability if like my group got chosen for the iPad or something? But that would make it into the probability of 4, not 13.
So what do you guys think of Delia's scenario? Will you say it again really loud, Delia?
Okay, so
Why don't you stand up and say it?
okay, so there's 52 people at the Apple store, and then there's 4 groups of 13. And then what was the probability that my group would get chosen for a free iPad? But that wouldn't work because then it would be 4 out of 13.
Is this an Apple store with like apples? Or an
I
Apple store?
I don't know. I was thinking like the Apple store. Like,
The Apple store with apples. I know, that's why I was.
Did you guys hear, we're not recording that question.
That's actually a serious question.
Did you guys hear, Julia said, I'm not sure if my scenario would be 4 out of 52. or 13 out of 52?
I think it's 13.
You get to pick.
Well, wouldn't it be 13 because is it 13 groups?
Yeah, well, there's 4 groups of 13. So I think it
It
would
could be
be
15.
Yeah, I think it would be 4, because you're saying it's 4 groups, they may be made out of 13, but each member of the group is getting an iPad, so it basically involves the whole group as a whole.
Yeah.
It could be 13 because you have 4 groups total, but each group has 13 people. And if each person in that group gets an iPad, that's 13 iPads.
Are you doing all right with going, Joss?
Yeah.
So Delia asked, what's the probability that my group gets picked? How many groups does she have? And she wants to know if one of them gets picked. So is 1 group out of 4 the same as 13 out of 52?
According to that,
Is that the same?
yes.
I hear a yes and a no. Steph?
Well, because it's like if you're saying that like one group would get picked out of the 4 groups, then it would be 1/4. Because you're not saying how many, like everybody in the group, you're just saying that group will get an iPad. I mean, you can assume that everyone gets one, but you're only talking about the group.
Well, it said in there that there's 52 people and only one group of 13, so you would kind of just break the 52 into 4 groups of 13, and those would be your 4 groups. So,
Yeah.
so it would be 1 out of 4.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the
Mathematically,
same thing.
is 13 out of 52 the same value as 1 out of 4?
No.
Yes.
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
If you had like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So if we reduce 13 out of 52, what goes into both 13 and 52?
4, 1, 3, 13.
1.
3 doesn't go in.
13.
13. How many times does 13 go into itself? How many times does 13 go into 52? That's good. Okay, what number are we on? Totally lost my. 8. Number 8.
Okay, so for this one, it showed in the book that there were 5 like little squares, and then only 2 were filled in, so it was 2 bits. So what we came up with was there are 5 different Pop-Tarts, and you only like 2 flavors. So what is the odds of you getting those 2 flavors? So these are the 2 flavors, and then these are the other 3 that she doesn't like. So in all, it's 5. So.
Do the dots have anything to do with the problem?
No, it was just, it was cute. I like her favorite flavor, so.
All right, let's go to number 9.
So what we did is, so we took the 50, so there's 52 cards in a deck of cards, and then we said the probability of getting 10 cards is 10 out of 52. And then I think we were just 10/52, or 10/52 to 52 divided by 2. It's 26, it would be 226.
5.
Because 10 divided by 10 is 5. this has anything to do with it, but like, when you have a deck of cards, don't you have more than 10 hearts?
Yeah.
So you would have a bigger probability.
Yeah, but I only want 10.
Yeah, but you would still have a bigger probability of choosing 10 instead of just 10
Well, no, I'm
cards.
doing 10 out of the whole 52, so it's including some other arts. I'm not doing like a specific, like, I am doing a specific like suit, but I'm not doing specific things in the suit.
I know that, but like, you have, it goes, it's like ace all the way up to king, and ace is 1, and then king is like the 13th card.
Yeah, but there's
So
still
you have-
52. There's 52 cards altogether, so if I take 10 of them out, then that'll be 42 still.
Right.
It doesn't really matter what suit it is.
How many hearts are there in a deck?
32, 52.
How many hearts?
13.
So what is the probability of pulling a heart?
13 out of 52.
Is it 10 out of 52 or 13 out of 52? So what would you suggest Alexi do to force out just 10 out of 52? Jason?
She could do like the odds of getting 10 cards, 10 hearts, 1 through 10. Or just number cards, not face cards.
Good. Good job. All right. Man, you guys are doing a really good job of really thinking about total number of outcomes and desired number of outcomes. You're also doing better, you're not perfect, better with your notation. Remember, the probability of the event equals something. And I also think we're realizing, man, probability isn't as straightforward as it seems. There's all these nuances in these situations, little things to think about. Well, what if that and what if this? I also heard a lot of theoretical and observed. So I like the fact that you're really trying to distinguish between those two types of probability situations. All right, good job, you guys. So, area models, we're going to transition from using rug to area model. Always a great way to represent probability. It's a good thing to fall back on. So, you know how we got in a big debate about the coins, flipping 2 coins?
Yes.
And the big debate was, is this count as 1 or 2? We're going to continue to think about that question. Only, instead of coins, we're going to transition to rolling 2 dice instead of 1. Okay? So I need a volunteer to go get the dice, which requires you to go to another mobile. All right, Giselle, do you know where Mr. Justice's mobile is? Not this one, but the next one beyond that. And he's in the very first room. Tall guy with red hair. You asked him for the big bag of dice. All right, so while Giselle goes and gets the dice, I need